Hey y'all, we're back at it again. This is Dosha with DoshaDreamsTarot. This is a reading for the sign of Cancer. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus signs, wherever you have Cancer in your chart. Please keep in mind it is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with you. Just take what does, leave the rest for somebody else. Thanks for being so patient, y'all, that I have just been doing a lot of channeled messages and collective readings and not a whole lot of astrology readings. But I am getting back on track with the astrology readings, so also wanted to say, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I do hope that you'll enjoy my content. Also wanted to say, if you're a returning viewer, returning subscriber, thank you. I appreciate you guys, and it really does mean a lot to hear from you and have you all interact with my videos and drop me comments and let me know how you felt about the reading. It honestly means a lot, guys, because then it feels like I'm not just out here talking to myself. You know what I mean? Like, I know the messages are significant, and I have faith in my own abilities to channel messages for folks and stuff. It's just kind of like part of what I do. It hasn't always been easy, especially in like personal relationships, when you just have like intuitive feelings about people's choices, or you know what I mean, and so you want to help people, but it's kind of like unsolicited, you know what I mean? So like, I've had a hard time with this premonition, like deeper insight kind of like thing. It can be really challenging in your everyday life. So having tarot as an outlet for that and sharing it with you guys here on this platform really has been amazing. And like I said, like, I have faith in my own abilities, but it still means a lot to hear from you guys and have y'all tell me how the reading resonated. You know what I mean? It just makes me feel like I'm doing something here, right? So anyway, I just wanted to say that. Cross-watchers, you are welcome here. I do not judge cross-watching, but I do just want to say, this is Cancer's reading. So with that being said, they come first, you come last, okay? If I expose you for bad behavior, if I'm calling you out, you can't get mad, okay? Because that's literally my job. Like, I'm here to assist and guide Cancer in this particular reading, okay? So anyway, wanted to say also that gender is fluid, so I do attempt to use gender neutral language as much as possible in my readings in order to make them more accessible and inclusive, and that way you can choose where you fit in the scenario without being held up or hung up on gender, right? But if a strong energy comes through and the message that I'm channeling is very specific when it comes to gender, I will state those things because I have to be true to the message that's coming through and trust spirit, you know. So in order to channel accurately, sometimes gender does come through, guys, and I have to say something about it. So just saying, you know what I mean? I do my best, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Thank you so much, Spirit, for your divine messages and guidance. We are deeply grateful, and we know we couldn't do this without you. Would you please help guide Cancer for their highest good, Spirit? Please bless us and protect us as we move forward into this reading. Ooh, okay. Thank you so much, Spirit. Okay, wow, the cards are wanting to talk. Any messages for Cancer? Yeah, wow. Okay. Okay. Any other messages for Cancer? Spirit's saying just look at these four first. Okay. All right, guys. So the first thing that I'm noticing with this Page of Pentacles coming out, it's really talking about to me is that like something may start small, okay? A move in a particular direction, it might start out as a small move, right? That's what I'm getting here. Just a small little thing, all right? Could be on your end, could be somebody else, okay? But this is just talking about a gesture, or maybe not a gesture, but an offer, a decision, a little thing that goes, basically what I'm seeing kind of snowballs, okay? So it's one thing that turns into many things, or it's one thing that turns into a whole big like plate full of work for you. Like, I don't know how this is going down here. We're going to get deeper, but it's like whatever this is going to create like major change in your life and this decision, because you're just like it's almost like at first like you don't really think much of it, but then it just quickly spirals and snowballs into this like really this thing that demands a lot of your time and attention, right? And it demands a lot of your energy. And it could be like somebody's like, hey, do you want to do this thing for me? And you're like, sure. And then you show up, and then it's like, oh, actually, could you help me do this thing and that thing also? And then you end up spending all day helping this person with like a variety of things when you were only supposed to come over and help them do one thing. you know what I mean? And they were kind of like, you know what I mean, got you in their clutches. And once they had you there, they're like, oh, well, we might as well do all this other stuff while you're here. You know what I mean? They may have paid you more for it, but you just didn't, it was more than you bargained for, basically, guys. Like, even if you consensually agree to do it, like, it's still more than you bargained for. And I feel like that in some ways is frustrating for you. So that's the energy I'm getting there. So this feels like almost two separate messages. I'm sure that they will intertwine. But the next card out is the Death card. And this is strong Scorpio energy. Scorpio is, you know, one of your fellow water signs, right? So you could be dealing with a Scorpio. You may have strong Scorpio in your chart. Or this is the energy that is kind of surrounding you at this time, or that is entering into your life. It almost feels like it's entering. You know, it doesn't feel like it's necessarily something, an energy you're sitting in, because I'm kind of just seeing the death, which basically is the Grim Reaper, right? Riding on this white horse, kind of coming into the scenario. So it's almost like that's kind of what I'm getting here, is that it's like this, maybe this situation is catalyzing a lot of change and transformation for you, because you're realizing the way that like people just like take advantage of your kindness, to be frank, or how you get yourself into, you bite off more than you can chew, or you get into sticky situations where you're like, God, I thought I was just supposed to come over and help you, you know, like give you a ride, but now you actually have to move. And so like you're moving all your stuff. Like I was just going to offer you a ride with you and like your suitcase, you know what I mean? To the next destination, but instead it's like, actually now I'm here helping you move all your belongings out of this house, and it's like dramatic and it's this big thing, and like you didn't explain to me it like in detail, like in full honest detail, like what I was getting myself into. So that's kind of the energy I'm getting, is it's not necessarily you just not like making wise choices when it comes to helping other people. It's more like people misinforming you, or kind of you're like, you give an inch, they want a mile. Like that's the energy that I'm getting here. So something about this is really like, I'm seeing the Sun card. I mean, not the Sun card, but the Sun in the background of this card. Sorry for the reflection, but do you see how it's between these two towers back here, and there's this Sun card? I don't know why I keep saying that. Jesus Christ. But there's the sun is rising in the background, okay? So that's just like this little sprinkle of kind of, not like silver lining, but it's talking about kind of like the dawn after the darkness. So like after death comes birth, right? Like, you know, we can all pretty much agree that, you know, the only way for life to sustain itself is if something dies. And that's just the reality, guys. Like, that's even how plants do it. They eat the decomposing matter in the soil, right? That's what provides them with nutrients, you know? So anyway, you've got the Ten of Cups in reverse. So what I'm getting here, guys, is it's like either... This is so funny. This is just the energy today, and it's very interesting to me because my other readings have been very similar in nature, but it's obviously different for each one of you guys. So it's not the same message at all. It's just very interesting, along the same theme of things, which is recognizing the way that the things that are playing out in your life now, how they impact your long-term happiness and your long-term stability and your long-term relationships, basically. Like you're it's almost like you're willing to put in work and effort into things to make them work. You're also willing to be, you know, to make gestures and offer help and all that sort of thing. And, you know, you realize that, like, okay, so if you know, like I said, agree to help a friend or a family member, and you get there, and then it's like you can see that they're just overwhelmed with all this other stuff too. It's like this one little thing they need help with is just one of many things they need help with. So then you realize, like, oh wow, well, while I'm here, you know what I mean? And this could be like even your energy, like you come to the table with that energy. It's like you show up to do one thing, you end up doing 10. You know what I mean? Or you end up doing 8 in this case, right? It's like you didn't realize that was what was needed, but once you saw it was needed, it's like you couldn't help but feel that need. So there is part of you that I think is realizing that that's something that you do. Like that this is actually something that you bring to the table, like in a, how do I explain it? It's like you bring this to the table in a way that's, I don't want to say subconscious, but it's almost like you're realizing all of a sudden you're having this realization with the sun back here. It almost feels like the dawning of a new day. So it's almost like the transformation, the realization that because you put so much effort into other people, and maybe sometimes the wrong people, Cancer, like, just to be real with you, because this is like the energy that's coming through is you, like I said, it's like, you know, you go to grandma's house on Friday, right? And you're just supposed to show up, help move a couple things around, and then go home, and then you've got the weekend to do whatever, you know what I mean? Spend time with your loved ones, your other loved ones, right? Like, you love your grandma, but spend time with like your partner or like your friends or your kids, you know? But then you get there on Friday and they're like, oh, well, I need a ride to an appointment in the morning, so you might as well stay the night. And then you end up running them around errands all day the next day. And then they're like, oh, well, you got to stay for dinner because of all your help. So you stay for dinner. And then by the time dinner's over, it's like, oh, I'm too tired to, you know, you get what I'm saying? It's like I don't know why that analogy is coming through of you like visiting your grandma, like in like kind of enough distance away from your home where that it's like kind of a drive, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's not so far away that you planned on staying for a couple days. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, if that resonates for any of you guys, like specifically, because it's such a random and specific message, please do let me know, because I would love to hear if that meant anything to anybody, because it's just, when a message like that come through, I'm just like, this is such a specific example. But then it's like, so yeah, then you end up at your grandma's house all weekend, and you didn't go fishing with your buddies. You didn't, like, I don't know where I'm getting this from, guys. You didn't spend time with your kids. You didn't spend time with your partner, something. So it's impacting your, it's this hero mentality of this, like, this, you know, like, because I can carry in all the groceries in one fail swoop, then like my kids don't end up helping me with the groceries and learning those lessons, you know, to be helpful, or, you know, or my partner feels like they're not being helpful enough, so they get kind of like, you know, they're like, gosh, well, like, I would have helped you, but it's like, you never want my help. You know what I mean? It's things like that where it's like, okay, well, you were just supposed to go and do this one thing. You ended up being gone all day. Where were you? It's like, oh, my friend really needed me. You know what I mean? And so it's like, well, this was supposed to be a day that we spent together, and instead you spent all day helping out your buddy because, you know, you said it was going to be one thing, it ended up being 8 things, right? And it's the same, oh, yeah, well, you were supposed to, you know, take the kids to the park or whatever, but you didn't do that because you were caught up helping out, you know, your mom all day or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying, guys, is it's basically, Cancer, like, you're realizing that, like, you're investing your time and energy into the wrong places or the wrong people. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't care, but it needs to be in balance, because this is feeling like, I said, you give an inch, they want a mile, and you give them that mile. You know what I mean? And then that mile is like, this is energy, right? This is time and energy. So it's like you give them, you know, an hour, they want 5 hours. So then it's like that those 5 hours you could have spent doing other things and cultivating the other relationships in your life, but because you went ahead and gave them that time, then it's like you can't get that time back. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest thing here, Cancer, that you're figuring out is like, if I offer to help somebody, I need to make sure that I just keep it at that. It cannot spiral or snowball into this like huge dramatic all day event or whatever. Like, I can't do that. I have to set limits for myself, and I could help people all day, but it's going to impact my long-term happiness. It's impacting my family. It's impacting my home life, whatever it is. Like, that's the energy that I'm getting here. Like, I mean, it's pretty, you know, straightforward. So I just feel like, with this Death card, like, this is really feeling like a realization. Like, I feel like you're actually realizing this, and you're kind of like, it's almost like, sorry guys, it's like you don't necessarily, I'm gonna grab my drink real quick, guys. It's right here, so just give me one sec. Okay, thank you. So anyway, basically what I'm getting at, guys, is that this is changing for you. Like, somewhere along the line, something, like, I feel like you had some kind of realization, and that has actually sparked some kind of transformation and change within you, where you're like, oh my God, like, it's like almost like, because I can almost see the person on this horse, right? Or like the Grim Reaper. They're like looking at the rest of the reading. Like, I don't know if you can see this, but like if you see they're facing this way, it's almost like they're looking through this lens. And this lens is actually like this particular trait of yours, where that you offer an inch, And then people take a mile, you give it to them. You know what I mean? You show up to do one thing, you do 8 things. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like you are the person, you are the rider, you are the reaper, right? And you're like looking out through your life and you're going, wow, like I can see where this will end, where I will end up. You know what I mean? I can see how this is going to go, right? So it's almost like you have this foresight, right? And it's like, not only are you realizing it, but you're changing it, right? Like, you're changing because of this. You're actually going like, no, I don't want to strain my most important relationships, my closest relationships, because I can't say no, or because I just like give way too much. Like, this is a very common, like, this is a scenario that like I have seen before. And so I just feel like this is something that you may already kind of know about yourself, or you may relate to, but maybe you've never taken like the solid steps to say like maybe you even make jokes about like, oh, I'm like, you know, Captain Save a Ho. It's just such a, it's a dumb fucking thing like to say. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm like, I guess I've just come a long way, guys. But like the way that like I was raised, and like the whole, yeah, I don't even need to get into it, but you know what I mean? There's certain cultures of people that like say things like that, and it's just, I used to be around a lot of it, but I'm just not anymore. But so like, it's just weird to, but because of that's, I feel like I'm channeling somebody's particular energy. It's something that's familiar to me because it's like, you know what I mean? What I grew up around, but it's not like me anymore. Does that make sense? But I feel like I still am relating with you guys in that way, because it's like, you may already make jokes about that where you're like, oh yeah, like I've like, you know, I'm a Captain Save a Ho, or I'm also like, what, you're like, oh, I'm just like, I'm just really helpful. I'm too helpful. I'm too nice for my own good, right? Like, I'm too generous, or like, oh, people always take advantage of my kindness, like things like that, guys. Like, you're like, you'll know where you fit and what rings true for you. But like, if you've already kind of established that and like made that, where that's been made pretty clear to you that that's something you need to work on, but you've kind of accepted it because you're like, oh, it's just part of my personality trait, like I can't really change it, right? Like, I think that you're realizing like it has to change. Like, you're like, wait, no, this isn't cute anymore. Like, it was cute like when I was in high school, right? Or it was cute when I was like living at home with my parents, right? Because like you know what I mean? Like, do you guys get what I'm saying now? Now it's like you're an adult, you have your own family. For some of you out there, this could just be the, you know, like your future. It doesn't even have to necessarily have to do with family, but the 10 of Cups typically does deal with that kind of, you know, energy. So that's why I'm saying it. But, and it's because I'm also, what I'm channeling here is that it's like you have your own life and your own family, and now you realize you need to start setting limits on how much you give to other people outside of that circle. Because if you give too much outside of your family, it actually takes away from your family. It detracts from your relationships, your close relationships, because yeah, you're giving too much energy to your friends, to your extended family, to whoever it is, maybe even to your work here. This could be talking about working too much too, guys. This could talk about you going in to work and you end up working late every night because, you know, there's just extra stuff I can do. So you're going in early, you're working late, you're not spending enough time with your family because you're working too much. You know what I mean? So you could be an overachiever, you know what I mean? And you could also be an overgiver. So I think what you're realizing here, Cancer, is that you actually have to change. Like, it's not something that you can make a joke about anymore. It's not cute. Like I said, it was cute at first, like, you know what I mean? And it's kind of funny, and people will be like, oh my gosh, you're always just bending over backwards for people, and like, you're crazy. Like, you'll just show up to help somebody, like, you know what I mean? You'll just drop whatever you're doing and go help someone if they, you know, blow a tire, right? It's like, oh, I blew a tire. It's like, okay, let me help you change your flat. And now I'll follow you just in case, you know, your donut's bad. And then, you know, I'll give you a ride to the tire shop, and we'll make sure we get the right tire for you. And then we'll come back, and then I'll put it on for you. Like, do you get what I'm saying, dude? Like, this is like it starts with like, yeah, I'll give you a ride, but now let me help you solve your entire ass fucking problem. Excuse my language. You know what I mean? And like, now you're fully taken care of, right? So you're just like you're just that type of person. And this is what I'm getting, is that you in the past probably really like first off, other people really love that about you because, hello, they benefit from it. You know what I mean? They know if they call you, then you're going to show up. It's like, help me move my refrigerator. Oh, well, now I need to switch over all the stuff from my other refrigerator into my new refrigerator. And now I actually need to get rid of my old refrigerator too. Can you help me get rid of my old refrigerator? Do you see what I'm saying? So like, okay, so like there's probably people in your life who love this about you. They know that when you show up, you're going to do it 100%. You're going to go above and beyond, and they can ask you for more things because they know that you'll say yes. Okay? So I'm just saying is that other people may have loved this about you, may still love it about you, but you may have at one point really loved it about yourself because you thought, well, hey, I'm a stand-up person. For whatever reason, like I said, this is coming through as a pretty masculine energy here. So I'm just going to put that out there, guys, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's, you know, for everybody, okay? But it's coming through that, like, you know, you're like, I'm a stand-up guy. You know what I mean? I show up. I'm helpful. You know what I mean? I care about the people in my life like I do. I go above and beyond. I'm all these things, right? And so you really respect that about yourself, and you know, see it as like an honorable quality. And while it is an honorable quality, Cancer, you have to realize that, like, not everybody deserves all of this from you. Not everyone deserves, the people who definitely deserve it, okay? And the parts of your life that definitely need it, right, are your close circles. You know what I mean? Like I said, your partner, your kids, right? Like the people that you spend the most time with. And it could be that you are single. I'm just going to put it out there. Some of y'all might be single and you don't have a partner or a family, and it could be in part because you have not focused enough time or energy or dedication into having this. You know what I mean? Like maybe you've had, like, you know, partners, or like, you know, boyfriends, girlfriends, you know, lovers, whatever, right? Gender neutral also. Like you may have had lovers and people in your life, but like it never went anywhere because it's like you were just always so busy and preoccupied helping everybody out, when that's like been like, it's almost part of your identity. Like it's a part of your lifestyle almost, you know, like call me if you need anything kind of person. You know what I mean? But you're realizing now is like, wow, I shouldn't extend that to just everybody, because then when I extend that, it's almost like it's not special to the special people in my life. You know what I mean? Because they just know that I'm just like that. So they don't know if they should take it to heart or not. They're like, oh, well, they do this for everybody, you know? So if they're helping me out, it doesn't necessarily mean that, like, they want me around forever. It could just be, also people might think that it's just like a, what do you call it? A manipulative tactic. I know it sounds fucked up, guys, but sometimes when people are too nice, people question it. They'll be like, why are you so fucking nice? And not only that, but why are you offering to help me out with all this shit? I don't need your help with all this stuff. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? I appreciate it, but like, no, you don't need to get involved in my life like that. I'm serious. So it's like you may be coming off as actually too nice to some people, and that might be a turn off, or they're just kind of like, you know, and I know that's probably frustrating to hear, honestly. Like if you are this type of person, you're like, well, goddamn, well, I can't win then. No, you can win, okay? You can, and it's by being balanced. It's by not giving too much to the wrong people, you know what I mean? And I guess, and in some cases, not giving too much to the right people, too. You can't just extend yourself like this, you know what I mean? It's just not sustainable long term. It also, like I said, it can be confusing for people, because not everybody is like this. So when you're really nice, people might think you have an agenda, like an ulterior motive here, and they might not know if they can trust it. So what I'm saying is that this is something that has to change and will change, and I think you realize that. You know, you realize that. You're like, damn, you know, and it's going to hurt. It's going to suck for a second, because here's the deal. You may not be used to saying no to people, and you may not be used to how people who know and love you, who you say yes to a lot, you might not have ever seen the way they respond when they hear a no, especially from you. Because if they're used to getting a yes from you all the time and you say no, they're going to be like, well, what? You know what I mean? What do you mean no? Why not? Why can't you? You know what I mean? You're going to start, people will push back. Because like I said, if they're used to this and they love this about you and they have praised you for it before, and it's like a part of your I almost said repertoire, but that's not really the right word. I mean like reputation. People know you for being really kind and generous and will say yes to anything, So people might call you up just expecting a yes because that's what they always get. So they're just like, it's just like me, ordering a pizza. Like, it's not like the pizza guy's going to tell me, no, sorry, I can't deliver your pizza. You know what I mean? Like, that's how they see you, because they see you as someone who delivers. You're somebody who says yes, who shows up, and you follow through, and you go above and beyond even. So for you to say no is like just totally unexpected. Like, they're basically like, what do you mean? Like, I think that there's going to be people who don't know how to respond to it. They're not going to know what to say. They're going to get upset, So you have to realize this, Cancer. It's not going to be easy right out the gate. It's not going to be super easy to say no. But you're going to have to. Like, I encourage you guys to find a balance in your life and just narrow it down. Like, really start to draw in your energy and see in what areas are you overgiving, how is it unnecessary, and where can you just maintain a little bit more like self respect and dignity, where you're not just someone who's just going to say yes and bend over backwards and be someone's like workhorse or be somebody's fucking loyal dog or whatever, like, it's great when you give that kind of dedication to the right people, right? Like the close people in your life. But if you're giving that dedication to like your boss, or like, I get it, you need to make your money, but if you're giving that kind of like drop everything and bend over backwards energy to like your boss or like your extended family or your friends or whatever, it's like, I wouldn't just give that to anybody, because people will take advantage of it and they will love it about you so much that you actually start to identify with that kind of behavior. Like, that's your character, and that makes you, like that makes you a step above the rest, right? And it absolutely does. But all I'm trying to say is that if that worked for you on the level where that like it was not impacting these other more important parts of your life, and yes, I will say they're more important because you feel like they're more important. This isn't just me, in my opinion. Like, this is what's coming through the cards, is that I feel like this is, and this is also what's just coming through as the message here, is that this is important to you, and that's why you're looking at it and realizing like, oh my God, you're making the connection. I give too much, and I need to change so that I can focus on this, so that I can build a life for myself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at this little house in the background, and the house has like 4 little windows in it. Do you see that? And you see how there's 4 people here? This is just, to me, it's just feeling like you're like, oh, I want to have like a little, I don't know why it looks like a birdhouse to me too. You know what I mean? You want to have a nest. You want to have a little birdhouse. Does that make sense? I know that's really cute and stupid, but like, do you get what I'm saying? It's just like, I feel like you want to build a happy life for yourself, which, look, I just put it down in the upright, came out in the reverse, but you get what I'm saying here is like, that's what you want to do. You want to change this, and I think you will. I think you will, Cancer. This has been a really cool reading. I have faith in you, and as always, I love you guys, and I hope that, you're just reaching for what's best for you and for your highest good, and and just learn how to limit yourself, right, when it comes to giving to other people, and learn which people are the right people, and focus your energy in on this 10 of Cups before you put it elsewhere. Yeah, it's a good reading. Okay. Well, I love you, Cancer. That's it for now. It's funny because pretty much every reading I've done today has just been like a 4-card spread, and like all these messages come out, and it ends up being a half-hour reading with 4 cards, which is pretty awesome, actually. I am appreciating it. It's different, for me. So anyway, I hope that you guys liked that and you got something out of this. If you did, please do interact with the video, like, share, comment, subscribe. Like, tell me how you guys liked it. I really enjoy hearing from you. Also, if you need a dream interpretation, I do offer that service. It's a sliding scale, so you can just hit me up and we'll talk about it, and and I'll try and help as best I can, basically. Within reason, okay? So that info is in the description box below, as well as my donation links if you feel like dropping me a donation. I appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.